Hello and welcome back. So you're just going to join me in the mid game here. As you can see, most of my troops are completely gone. This is all I have remaining, and that is due to the three biggest things on the game, which is these three elephants. So as usual, I had to go up against the elephants. The matchmaking's not very good. We've got like absolutely tons and tons of cavalry, which I thought, you know what, that'd be quite good for me, because in a spear unit, loads of cavalry. So I thought, yeah, that'd be good. Until the elephants actually came and attacked me, and I can't run away from them because they're too fast, and there's nothing I can do. So yeah, so the elephants absolutely tore me to pieces, killed all my archers, because even the archers weren't fast enough to run away, and yeah, so that didn't go too well. As you can see, the enemy are winning at the moment, most likely going to win this, depending on what our elephants can do up here. And some of our horse units, depending on what they can do as well. But I can't imagine they'll do quite that much, if I'm honest. I'm just going to help this. I haven't got much left in me, so I'll help this horse unit out. See what I can do, see what damage I can do. It won't be too much, I wouldn't imagine. Yes, we're probably going to die now. To this infantry unit. But, hey-ho. I was just trying to address, though, that, I mean, I know it's getting addressed, and I know the next patch is, according to the devs, the next patch, I'm just going to leave the game here, because there's no point in carrying on. According to the devs, the next patch, they're going to hugely address elephants, basically, and trying to nerf them. They don't want to over-nerf them, but they want to try and find a balance that it's enjoyable to play elephants, but at the same time, they're not as ridiculously overpowered as they are now. I mean, the good counter to elephants is pike units. The problem is pike units that's pretty. I mean, is that it? I mean, their only counter is pike units. Oh, nice. Go into phalanx and yeah, they get completely destroyed. And a good unit to go against elephants as well is javelinmen. Like because they've got heavy javelins. I mean, archers. I've got a bunch of archers. The only reason I've got a bunch of archers here with Leonidas is to try and get his experience up, because it's an array of different units, you get 30% plus experience. I'm going to show you quickly before we jump into another game who I've got now. So I'll start showing more games on Hannibal. He's now tier 4. He has Libyan recruits. So this weekend I have been very busy trying to get all of them up to at least tier 4. So Hannibal's up to tier 4, Leonidas halfway through tier 5. I got Shinane up to tier 5, so she's got tier 5 archers now. I also bought Miltiades, whatever his name is. He is tier 4. I'm trying to get him up to tier 5 so he uses the same spearmen as Leonidas, because he uses them in a slightly different way. Because Leonidas is a very defensive commander, so all of his abilities are very defensive abilities and capabilities. Like, for example, shield bash to knock enemies nearby, putting your shields up to protect against archer fire, hold the line when you're in phalanx mode. So they're all very defensive, which kind of bodes well for what historically he was, because at the end of the day he was a very defensive commander in terms of he fought on the Hot Gates against the Persians and defended the oncourt. Didn't win, but he defended there. So understandably he's got very defensive traits. Whereas Miltiades, whatever his name is, I don't know. This guy, he's more of a very offensive style of spearman leader, because as you can see here, his abilities are infantry charge, his abilities are break rank, so he can run faster, so he can potentially catch up to archers. So yeah, his abilities are a lot more aggressive and a lot more offensive style. And to be honest, if you take up him against Leonidas with the types of abilities, to be honest, 9 times out of 10 this guy's going to win over Leonidas. even though the defensive capabilities are all a lot better on Leonidas, this guy 9 times out of 10. Because this game, I found at the moment, especially with doing over the weekend, and as you can see, I've played quite a lot of games now. I've got 49% victories, which again is not great. But the problem that I've been finding is the fact that people are exploiting at the moment because the game's so new and they haven't fixed all like the matchmaking issues and all that sort of stuff. People are obviously people are people and they'll exploit anything they can. So when it comes to like for example a spear, when you get up to tier 5, which is what Leonidas is at the moment, I fought 200 battles and I had 49 of them, so just shy of 100 have been victories. Obviously, but the thing is though, if you look at like my replays, so this is the replays. I mean, I haven't had a very good run at all. Basically, yesterday and today, I had a couple of good runs with Julius Caesar, which again I'll show you. I'll show you the units before I go on to that. So I've got all them. Roman, got Germanicus and Julius Caesar, both up to tier 4, and the Barbs I've only got Arminius up to tier 4 though. I was going to unlock these two, but which I will. I'm going to unlock him. I'm not too fussed about her because she's war dogs and cavalry, and I don't really care for that at the moment. I probably will go for him because I fancy some of the barbarian spears because I think they're a little bit overpowered at the moment, but we'll come on to them. And again, I didn't have enough experience to unlock Scipio and Sulla, so I couldn't unlock them either. But going back, so if you go back to the replays, we will get into a game in a minute. So I won them games, but if you look through like all the games, so if you click on them all, can we get the experience? So I mean, the top player on their team, obviously, because they win, they get more experience than us anyway, so that doesn't really matter. But if you look at the experience, 2583. So if you look through, I'm higher than all them. He got the highest, so I'll give him his due. He did get the highest. You know what I mean? So I'm higher than all these. So there you go. I came second in that battle. So I did pretty well overall. I mean, this guy got loads of kills. That's the only reason. And he got some base capture points. That's the only reason he got such a high score. But I got the highest score just by fighting. And again, that was just completely getting destroyed by elephants. I mean, there's literally no point because I got completely destroyed by elephants in that battle. So that one, I came second. The Julius Caesar game, artillery is different because I think artillery is broke. Even though I did quite a lot of I did a lot of damage to units, but you don't get any experience for it. You're getting hardly any points, and I don't really understand that. They need to address. I think that's one thing they definitely need to address is they need to address the balancing in terms of when you're playing artillery, of how much experience you get per the damage you do. Because as you can see, I got the lowest, or not the lowest score, but I got like third or fourth, you know what I mean, overall. But the artillery in the game doesn't bode well though, like at all. So this one, 190 again, got absolutely crushed by archers. I mean, the enemy team had like about 1,000,000 archers. Or was it this battle? Might not have been this battle. No, it didn't. So I can't really remember what defeated me on this, but it's probably because I got singled. With Leonidas, what I'm finding is though, I'll go into a battle and I'll get singled out by absolute tons of enemy players. But the problem is with spears, because they're slower than every other unit, especially barbarian units. They're so much slower than barbarian units. I mean, look at that, 519 mobility. That is amazing, considering I've only got 341. So these are anti-infantry units and will absolutely shred you to pieces. I mean, look at their aggression. It's 437 to my 155. My defense is really good. Again, very defensive style units. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter because what I've been finding is him and say I'm up against two of them. Say them two, for example. He'll hold me. he'll just run round me because there's nothing I can do about it. He'll run round me and then just smash straight into the back of me, and my units will just crumble instantly. You know what I mean? So I end up getting singled out quite a lot with Leonidas and spear units, because I think spear units are just so underwhelming right now. Like, in terms of the balance of the game, they're just so underwhelming. They can't take down cavalry fast enough. They can take them down easily, but not fast enough. When they get into melee combat with anything, other than, like, I mean, even archers, they get into melee combat with archers, and they still take their time. They don't cut down archers near fast enough for me. Like, archers should be getting absolutely destroyed, like, instantly, pretty much, because they got no armor, they got no defense, and they should be getting, like, really destroyed, like, instantly. So if you just, like, look through 190, so they hired. So I got pretty low in this battle, as you can see, like, near enough the lowest score overall, because again I got singled out. So then we go to Hadrian's Wall. Again, similar thing happened. And, well, a lot of these, that one was a base capture, this one was a base capture, hence why it was only 4 minutes long. Again, they need to address the base capture issue. The base capture thing with this game, it's too easy to capture the base. It's too easy to avoid players, to get around them, and to just capture the game. And as you can see, archers, 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 archers. I mean, just on my team, the enemy team is exactly the same. All archers. You know what I mean? Is that all the archers they've got? Yeah. So 4 archers. I mean, considering you can only field 10 units, or, well, 30 units per side. And then you look at 4 of the commanders. That's 12 archers that you've got to deal with. Alright, yeah, we've got 12 archers. But we're like 2 cavalry to deal with them. And again, they're the same 2 cavalry. You know what I mean? It's just, they need to, and I know they've already come out and said they're going to be dealing with the matchmaking. And again, so this guy did nothing because he was AFK for our team. This guy did hardly anything as a cavalry player. That is horrendous, because you should be able to do so much more with cavalry. Archer did nothing. Archer did nothing. Archer did nothing. Archer did nothing. Compare them to these. These all got, I mean, they did loads. You know, so what did I get? 132. Again, infantry did nothing. And that's what I'm finding a lot of the times, is I'm getting on teams. And I mean, some of it's my fault. And again, artillery, it's broken because it doesn't calculate properly. I think this was one of my first games with military aids. 197. So higher than Leonidas, higher than him, lower than him, higher than him, higher, 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 and he didn't do nothing in the entire game. Yeah, that's a tier 4 cavalry unit. So, as you can see, it's frustrating the crap out of me, because spearmen are broken in the game, in my personal opinion. Leonidas, when Leonidas is paired with spearmen, it's broken. The reason I say that is because, I mean, you just need to look through. Leonidas, loss. Leonidas, loss, loss. Loss, 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 loss. I mean, when did they even win with Leonidas? And there's one win. There you go. One win in the past, what, 10 games? I mean, that is a horrendous, absolutely horrendous sort of score. If you go to commanders, I mean, it just proves it. I mean, 83 battles I've played with Leonidas, only 42% of them have been victories. Yet with Sinani, which is why I think archers are overpowered, bearing in mind, this is my honest opinion. I do like playing archers, but they're overpowered. They are 100% overpowered. 61% victories, because they can change the game so drastically and so suddenly. That's why I think they're overpowered. I mean, 61%. I mean, look, maximum points earned with hair in comparison. I mean, it's 2,000 difference. That's a lot. That's a lot different. So, yeah, 61%. Arminius with the cavalry. Again, I've been having really good games with the cavalry. But the problem is, it's the supporting team. Don't get me wrong, I don't want to sound like a broken record. I'm just blaming my team. But this is not like World of Tanks or World of Warships, for example, where, especially in World of Tanks, you can play as an individual, but you can have such a drastic difference on the game that it's overwhelmingly in your favor. Whereas this game, because you get 3 units and not an individual unit, and you've got to work together to try and overwhelm the enemy team or defend yourself against whoever, to be honest, you can't individually win a game. I've found with this game, you can do your very best, but if the enemy team has got more players than you, then it's just tough. You're gonna lose, hands down. You're gonna lose at some point. It's just a matter of time, whether it be through the timer, which has happened to me a few times. I'll be on the upper hand with the archers, but then the timer will run out, and because they have a higher number of units, they win. Either through base capture, because again, you can't get back in time to defend your base, because you've been fighting at the other end of the map, or you'll get completely just absolutely annihilated because the enemy team has all clumped their units together, whereas you spread out thinking, there'll be a spread, but they haven't. They've clumped everything together, and then all of a sudden you're getting hit from every single side, and there's nothing you can do yet, and then boom, your units are completely crumbled, and they just evaporate near enough, and there's nothing you can do about it because there's just so many enemy forces, and because they all stick together, every time they come across the next player, because they can overwhelmingly get round them, they win, because there's so many more of them to basically destroy you and get you off the battlefield. And that's what I've been finding with this game. That's why it's been frustrating the crap out of me. I mean, playing it over the weekend has, like, hands down frustrated me so much. But yeah, so this is my victory. So 42, on mini is 40 again, which is crap. Even though you look at my experience, it's pretty good. I mean, maximum. I know that's maximum, but to be honest, it's been about 2,600, if not higher, on every battle pretty much. On the victory side of stuff, every battle with these guys. Germanicus that's pretty average, 56%. That's probably, that's where you want to be, ballpark figure. Again, Hannibal, spear unit. Hopefully it's going to change now because I'm going into more of the sword style units, and then eventually onto elephant and stuff like that. So hopefully that'll change drastically. I've only played 12 battles, so I mean it's not that bad overall. But 41%. Hopefully it'll change with the more going into the sword style units now. Julius Caesar, 11 games, really good. And then Militier's 1 battle, lost it. You know what I mean? But that 1 battle, I mean, that's what points I got. You know what I mean? Really good. I mean, that is probably, above average. You know what I mean? I'm probably above average overall. And literally, there's nothing you can do about it. You know what I mean? Spear units again. He is a better commander. If you're gonna get any one unit at the moment, don't get Leonidas. I mean, I know he's so iconic in terms of a leader, but don't get him. Not fair. Not straight away. Get him later on, which is one of the biggest mistakes I probably made. But because he's now one of my highest generals, I kind of want to just keep leveling him up until to get to tier 10. But go for Miltiades first. He's cheaper in experience. So if we go to this, does it still appear? Wrong one. It doesn't appear because I've already bought him. But yeah, he's cheaper than Leonidas. I think he was 1,900 experience, whereas Leonidas is 4,400. Don't get Leonidas. Use her, get your experience, get your free experience off all your commanders, and then go straight for him. If you want a Greek commander, don't go Leonidas. I'd suggest go for him. Potentially even go for Alexander, get some cavalry units. And then later down the line, when you have all 3 of them, later down the line, if you're bored and want to play a new type of commander, then go for Leonidas, because then you can play that sort of guy. But he is a lot better as a commander, because this game seems to favour the aggressive players. There's no if you play defensively, you won't get any points and you won't do anything. So now I'm playing with the sword units. I'm not upgraded them all at the moment, but hopefully this will lead me on to, you know, well, this is definitely 100% lead me on to elephants because this is where I am now. So I'll get the Punic mercenaries and then I'll go on to African elephants and then go up the elephant tree with him. Maybe use one elephant per him, one elephant or two elephants with an infantry unit as support or something like that. I don't know, we'll see. I'd still want to go up the infantry tree with him as well, so well, I don't know, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Cavalry wise, this is my little rant episode, by the way. Cavalry-wise, barbarians are the weakest. Well, they're not the weak. Well, I don't know. It's hard to say. It seems like they're the weakest. Let me just have a look. Let's have a look. So barbarians. So let's go to the Greeks. Greeks have cavalry. So let's go tier 4. So 417. 417. Can we get... No, 417, 529, 580, 53, and 43. Same unit. There you go. Hands down. There you go. Bosh. Done. Already proved it. Doesn't matter if you get this upgrade. Won't make a difference. Attacks less. Defense is about the same. Survivability's less. Mobility's a lot better though. So you gotta look like mobility's better by a fair amount. But what's the point? That's what I'm trying to get at. What's the point of them? And the health's better as well than these. But what's the point if by the time you get to engage in a unit, your mobility counts for nothing? Because you have to engage in the unit. So your mobility gets void. It's all down to defensive capabilities and attacking capabilities, and partially to do with how much health you have. So 538 and 280. 538, 280. So you got slightly better defensive capabilities, but it's pretty much identical, so it doesn't really matter. Don't forget, these can upgrade as well. So that's not base. This is all base stock. You know what I mean? That's what I'm trying to get at. This is all stock. So when you get like all this stuff on, I mean, his defense goes up to exactly the same. You know what I mean? So it's a tricky one. Barbarian sword cavalry, I would say, were the weakest in the game. Even go to like these. I mean, I know you can only get cavalry at tier 5 with the Romans. So from tier 5 onwards, you can start getting cavalry. So 374, a massive defense. And I will have a look at the barbarian tier 5s in a sec. So 691 and 374. Let's go to you. 374. So yeah, attacking's better, defense is better, health's probably neither here nor there, and mobility's better on these. So again, they're weaker than Roman cavalry. I'm pretty sure these have cavalry. Yeah, tier 5 again, and once again they're worse than these as well. So yeah, barbarian horsemen are the worst in the game and need to be addressed as well, I personally think. But yeah, we'll jump into a game. There is one game I do want to show you, and that is, it's probably that one. I would imagine it is that one. 2118. Yeah, it's this one. So on this battle, we won this battle. That was the experience I got. I got a score of 2,270. And if you look around, we did pretty well. I'd say, did we get the highest? Yeah, we did. So we'll jump into this. This is the first game with Hannibal, so count yourselves lucky you're seeing this now. First game with Hannibal, first replay. It's not my first game playing him, but it's the first replay I've showed of him. Tier 3 spears. I said I was going to only show tier 4 onwards, but we'll show tier 3 spears. Just to show you how I got to tier 4, because this was the last battle before I got to tier 4. So what we're going to do here, just gonna speed it up ever so slightly. I'm going to run into the middle. And what I wanted to do originally was try and keep with these archers, try and keep them safe. So you can see me and the enemy, this player, what a cool cactus, yeah. He positions himself behind me every time, which is good for him because that means I can protect him. But it's good for me as well because it means he can, you know, help me when it comes to dealing with the enemy. So we're trying to get up as far as we can to get some spots and stuff because we want him to be able to. So he stops here, so I think, you know what, I'll head back, get sit in front of him, and he's running back and forth, and he does lots of this, that, and the other, and he doesn't really know where to go. So he runs up, and he starts to, so I think he realises that I was trying to help him, so we head up together, and you can see him literally matching my moves, pretty much, and we do help each other out quite a bit. See, so his match is going up, he is matching my moves. So what we do eventually is I'll go in the middle. The reason I'm doing this is because because the enemy's shifting over this side, and he does see again. He follows me, which is good. You know what I mean? This is what we want. And then he runs up here, and I think, oh, where's he going? I think he's going after these because I was hoping he would go here, and then he might be able to get shots on these. But then he engages this unit, so I think, oh right, okay, I'll support him. So I run up, and I go get in front of him to basically support him. In case of any, you know, flanking attacks, flanking maneuvers or anything like that. So the start of this battle, as you can see, first 2 minutes and I've done nothing. I haven't engaged in anything. All we've done is a tiny amount of spotting. Where the hell are we? There we are. All we've done is a tiny amount of spotting, and literally that's about it. We haven't done nothing else. And then we see loads of units heading into this forest, so I think, right, let's head up here and see what we can do. So we head back because they move around to this sort of corner, so we want to try and cut them off as much as we can. So I head my unit spears back, and they're only tier 2 swordsmen, so I'm not too worried about them, to be honest. So I head a unit round just in case the archers try and flee this way. So I head one unit round, the other two head into this battle, and Theban, what are they called? Yeah, Venetian Warriors, which is who I'm playing. Again, they are a spear unit, but they've got pretty okay-ish attack. So again, we head in here, cut off some of their archers, some of their spears. We form basically we're just trying to fight as much as we can, form a phalanx, trying to defend ourselves, and we shuffle all the way back just so that they can't get round us, and then we head in from the back with our other 2 spear units. This unit are trying to get to the cliff face so that they can't get around me at all. Again, the archers are over here, they're dealing with these, keeping them distracted from my back, and then this unit breaks because of the overwhelming force of the enemy. So I literally just try and run him away. There's not much I can do because you can't actually run away from barbarians because he's not fast enough. So, but because my units are coming through, he then gains his morale again, which is good for us, and they rout again. But instead of running him that way, I run him back through my lines of units, and as you can see, the enemy are just all running away, and yeah, that's pretty much all they're going to do. So I'll leave him there. He's now going to gain his morale back again because he's in with my own troops. He'll gain morale back again. He heads in, so I head here. He heads in with some spearmen for the enemy player, so I cut them off and engage them from every direction. And as you can see, I'm basically cutting them off. So again, they gain the morale again, and they head back into the battle. As you can see, I'm now top because of the most aggression. You know what I mean? So the points are going up, and because I'm doing a lot of damage to these players. So he forms a phalanx, but the only problem is I'm already behind him, so it doesn't really make a difference. And he's changing direction, he's doing this, that, and the other, but it doesn't really make a difference. Alright, he's going to do a fair amount of damage to me on the way through, but again, it's not much. I've got infantry all over here. This is all my infantry, so I'm just surrounding him, so there's nothing he can do. As soon as he routs, he comes out of phalanx and then gets completely just decimated, as you can see. There's nothing the enemy player can do about it. And then we run straight into the archers, flank the archers. Again, They rout, decimate the archers, they're gone. Well, they don't disintegrate as fast as I hoped they would. I send off an infantry unit this way because what we're going to do is we're just going to, again, like, this is what I'm getting at, when you overwhelm an enemy force, there's nothing they can do about it. Especially if you just, like, for example, just look how many players, like this is 4 players worth of, units, and there's nothing they can do about it. So what we're going to do is, we can see them all heading to our base. So I think, we should head back. So start sending my infantry back, but then I think, actually, they've got some units already heading there. So I didn't see the point of it. So we send off my infantry back up towards their base, and we're just going to head to their base. And as you see, I'm already top on because of aggression and the other little bits of the others, but not much. So, but I'm on a decent score at the moment, and that score is still going to get higher as well, because that score is going to go up, because I'm going to end up in their cap. So the enemy player camps up in our base. He does quite a good job, but the problem is he's going against barbarians, so it doesn't really make a difference, because again they just throw fire on top of them, force them to come out of phalanx, move back. He runs into his own fire a little bit, which is probably a little bit stupid, but never mind. All he's doing is though, he's disrupting the cap circle, and that's all we need. This cavalry player completely abandons some of it. Yeah, the whole cap, abandons the whole cap. Massive mistake by him. He should have stayed in the cap, but they probably would have won in that case. But the barbarians doing a good job just to harass, and then if we head back, so there's my unit heading in. But he's only sending 1 unit at a time to me, so it's dead easy for me to run. This is what I'm doing. I run through with them, because he's trying to hold me up to get to the archers. But so what I do is I run through, head back in, overwhelm them, and even though they're sword units, which do really well against spears, there's too many to deal with. And I head a spear unit in, because I have the capabilities to run as well. And there's some couple more spears, so I head them round this way because he's heading that way. So try and cut them off, and we think, oh crap, the enemy are our base. But again, this barbarian unit's doing a great job. He's going to do he's going to disrupt quite a lot, and we've got more units heading in as well. So I've got a lot of faith in this barbarian unit at the moment. But we're heading in with these. They throw a couple of javelins in the back of me, but it's okay. Head in with these. Some of the archers have ran up there, so I'll leave them. So I'll run these in, and basically we're just going to deal with these on the way in now. So I've got my archers are helping me out. So these go into phalanx, head straight into them, come out of phalanx, and then I'm getting attacked by the archers, but it's not the end of the world. I do actually indicate that these archers back here, and our archers now start cleaning them up. But now if you look back here, we've got our cavalries in here disrupting, we've got more spears heading back. The barbarian swordsmen are now still fighting away against these spears, overwhelming them a little bit, and our score's now heading up because we've got so many units within the cap. And as you can see, the points are heading up. He has an absolute crap ton of he's the cavalry unit, you see. So what I found, and we get disrupted there, but it's nothing major. So we head them in because they're about to head into our it's a good charge by them. And I don't know why I stopped there. I did actually click an order, but it stopped. But again, overwhelming. Left flank them, right flank them. Going to overwhelm them. They're now routing, and now they're gone. So there's nothing they can do about it. We're back in the cap, still capping. I'm still capping away. So my points are still going up, and now we're just going to see the game out with an enemy cap. But now the enemy team, all right, they might have killed our horse units, but now they've got to deal with a spear unit, which is in phalanx mode. Horses do not do well against phalanx spear units, so don't try it. There's got a fair amount of spears in here, but now base capture, and we win the game. So you can get base capture points. So as you can see, me won the game. And then that allowed me to progress onto my tier 4 unit with Hannibal. But as you can see, the game is very good. I like the game. I do like the game. Oh, have I just won that one? I didn't do very well on it, but 1,300. Say middle. Yeah, middle-ish. I'm glad we won that though, because I got absolutely decimated by that elephant unit. Absolutely decimated, which is the game you'd seen me go into. So I'm glad we won that, because 1,600. Did he get the most? No, this hands up to hats off to this cavalry player, because he seemed to have done a very good amount of damage. These dog units again, overpowered, I personally think. I personally think they're overpowered, because they send the dogs into you, and unless even if you spear units, again, which I don't understand, you'd think spear units would do well against dogs, not sword units. The sword units do better against dogs than spear units. But last time, I mean, if you take it in real life, I would much prefer to have a spear than a sword to tackle an aggressive dog, because with a spear you can stab it from a distance. With a sword you've got to get up close and you've got to stab it. But surely a spear does more damage to a dog than a bloody sword unit. But they don't. Apparently they don't. Sword units do a lot better against dog units than spear units. Again, don't really know how, but they do. I just think there's a lot going for this game, and I do like it, hence why I've been playing it quite a lot over the weekend, trying to get the experience up. However, they have got a lot to address, and hopefully we'll be part of that address, and we'll be part of helping them fix it. I'm on that Reddit now with them as well, so if you have any suggestions in the comment, any suggestions at all, leave it in the comments. I'll take it to Reddit. I'll post it on Reddit, and see if we can get some replies off the developers. In terms of, is it Mind Over Madness commented saying, is it Mind Over Madness? Something like that. Mind Over Madness commented saying there should be an anti-large capability on some of the units, like spears, for example. I couldn't agree more with him. I put that towards one of my comments towards the developers. I'm just waiting on a reply off them. Hopefully they reply to it or something. And when they do, I'll get back in touch and let you know what they're going to do about it. But that's it for me. Now, sorry for the rant and rage. I just thought I'd leave the video in where I'm at and where the game I personally think is at. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share the videos, try and get more people to subscribe to the channel. If you get more people to subscribe to the channel, more likelihood I'll be posting more videos. Sorry there wasn't a video yesterday. I was just very busy over the weekend, and I will be very busy in about 3 weeks, because I'm actually going away for 3 months. I'll try and do some videos within them 3 months. If not, what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and record the crap out of this. I mean, literally, I'm going to try and record the absolute crap out of this, and basically record maybe like 20 to 30 videos. And then instead of having videos daily, I'm going to have to space them out over the 3 months, because I don't know whether I'll be able to record whilst I'm out there, because I'm going abroad, you see, so for 3 months, so I'm not entirely sure whether I'll be able to record out there. I'll be able to play the game, so within 3 months I might have different units when I come back, but what I'll try and do is I'll try and record as much as I can beforehand, pre-upload them all for 3 months worth, so you might only get like one every like 3 days, one every like 3 days potentially, or maybe even one every 5 days, or one a week or two a week. I'll see what I can do, but obviously it's going to be demanding on me, because if you think two a week, which is not much obviously if you're doing it daily, but so two a week over 12 weeks, then you know you're looking at least 24 videos, which is a lot of videos. So just bear with me. As soon as I get back from where I'm going, I'll be straight back onto this. So just keep with me. If you do, you know, I'm asking politely, please keep with me. Please stay subscribed. Don't forget to get more people subscribed. Get your friends, whoever, get them to subscribe as well. Don't forget to like, comment in the comment section below. Leave your comments on the video. Leave what you think about the game, where it's at, the stage it's at, any thoughts I can give onto the developers on Reddit. Other than that, have a lovely day, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye for now.